Cool.
So let me. So any podcast that I'm doing, I'm also live streaming on everywhere on all the socials and stuff. So it
Oh, nice.
it
That's cool.
works. So it's a 2 for 1 deal. All right. So we're live on the IG, TikTok, on everywhere.
Wow. That's pretty
And
cool.
yeah.
Shout out
All
to
right.
Riverside.
Yeah, Riverside's been awesome. This
Yeah.
episode brought to you by Riverside. Well, everyone, thank you so much for joining us. Episode 59, Coach Brian coming back with Driven for Health, and I'm bringing back a return guest. We had such a great conversation on episode 44, Coach John Sheldon, that I invited him back, and we're going to get a little bit in the thick personally with me. I offered up hey, coach me on what you do to showcase your expert authority and your subject matter expertise, which is really exciting. And this is hopefully at this point you've been listening to a couple and you know that's what I do. I've been doing it for a long time. Today we're going over blueprints, briefs, and battle plans. And I'm going to give the floor to Coach John to take it away, and we're going to have a blast. So I hope you really enjoy this conversation.
I'm looking forward to it. So thanks so much for having me back on, Brian. I, I loved our last conversation as well, and was happy to see you reach back out. So
Yep.
super cool. And look, I just got to get your permission that we're gonna have a really authentic conversation, because this type of coaching for me doesn't work unless you're open to it.
I am wide open, and I think it offers a really good opportunity for my audience to get to know Brian a little bit more because I talk and I talk and I talk a lot about fitness, nutrition, and all that stuff. But this will be really exciting to go under someone else's wing here, and you're leading the way. So let's take it away.
I'm excited. All right, man. So this is a what we're going to go through today. If we have time for the whole thing, is what I call blueprints, briefs, and battle plans. Just to give you and your audience a high level of what that is. So the blueprints piece of it is what I call building your personal performance blueprint. What I realized about my own life and working with hundreds of clients at this point in time, was that everybody has this uniqueness about them that
Yeah.
they perform and need to perform at their best. I'm sure that you realize this with a lot of your clients too.
Yes. Yep.
And what I also started to realize as I went through these steps, and had gone through probably 4 or 5 iterations of this, as we've seen what's actually worked with clients, um, was that not only was this really important for themselves, but if they understand these aspects of the people around them, how much more efficiently of human beings as leaders that we could possibly be if we
Right.
understood the aspects that made the people around you tick as well, right? Where the briefs and battle plans comes in is actually a decision making framework. Now, why that's important is where I see a lot of people and business owners get stuck, specifically leaders, right? Men, that is obviously Men's Health. I see this a lot with men, is getting stuck in indecision a lot of times, right? Or making too quickly of decisions without enough of data. So, one of the questions I was getting a lot, based on my time as a Marine Corps squad leader, um, and I think we talked about this last time, I did
Yep.
a few pumps to Iraq, run about
Right.
150 to 200 missions in that sense, leading 13 Marines. And one of the questions I got so much was, John, how, actually, my father last year, we were sitting down. He asked me this question. We were sitting on his bench outside of his house. He said, John, how do you make decisions? Like,
Wow.
how do you make quick decisions like this? And I said, Dad, well, first off, it's not as quick as you think, right?
Right.
Most of the time I can respond quickly, but I've mostly been thinking about this, right? But in
Right.
the moment, that got me really thinking of, hey, looking back at my life, you do have to make split second decisions. You do have to make
Yeah.
decisions, especially in combat. What is the process that, what I realize that leaders go through in order to make efficient decisions that are strategic and tactical in the moment? Not when you have 2 hours on a Saturday to really sit down,
Right.
think, meditate. Like, in the moment, with your families, with yourselves, with your boss, with your employees, whatever that might be. How do you make smart, tactical, strategic decisions and walk through with confidence? Right. So that's what we're going to go through today. These are
Excellent.
things that I work on with clients, specifically as setting kind of a foundation of coaching. before we dive into a lot of their specific needs that they go through. It's like a foundation of like, how do I get to know my client the best?
Right.
All right.
Perfect.
Cool. So the first step, there's 4 steps to the blueprint that I believe everybody needs to know about themselves to make them the most efficient and purposeful person, right? And that first word I used intentionally. The first step is purpose. The next is vision. Third is what environment or ecosystem. And the last is what motivates you.
Right.
However you do these fingers. I don't know, 4.
Yeah, right.
And while that may seem basic, I find that a lot of people are always missing 1 to 2 of these key aspects that they're not really defined on or haven't really fleshed out. I feel that's just really, really important. So I'm actually going to walk you through some of the questions, right? Again, if you're open to it, on finding what Coach Brian Piranha's professional performance blueprint is.
I'm ready. I'm 100% in.
All right, man. So as we start this, we're going to start with purpose. All right. So purpose is a cornerstone of this blueprint. As Simon Sinek says in his book, Start With Why, it is the why you show up when it's hard, right, to filter for what matters, right? We're going to use this why statement and we're going to constantly go back to it to filter what really matters in our life. So I want you to take as much time as you need, but this is supposed to be a gut check. Okay. It's supposed to be done like this.
I'm totally unprepared. If you're listening,
he's very unprepared. He's never heard this before. Anybody?
I asked him what I should prepare, and he told me nothing. He's like, "Just show up." Okay.
This is the purpose. This is the purpose for it. All right. So I want you to state, speak from your truth, speak from your gut. What is one unapologetic sentence of what your purpose is in life?
My profession.
No, just with your life, just life. It's your personal performance blueprint. I misspoke earlier and said profession.
Okay.
Purpose.
Brian is here on this earth to give people hope, inspiration, and clarity on creating a fantastic life that they look forward to living, as not only in the present, but in the future as well.
Awesome. How does that feel saying that to the public right now?
It feels really good and it resonates with me, because any time I ever talk with anyone, I'm looking for the opportunities of success and life fulfillment. Always.
I love that, man. I love that. That's powerful too, right? It's this outside purpose, right? For others. That's great. That's great. So the next question then is, and I believe this is an important piece of it, is stories of purpose under pressure. Would you mind sharing with the audience and with me right now, knowing that what you just announced to your audience and me, what your purpose was? Can you name at least one story where that purpose was put under pressure? Where it was easier, it would have been easier to tap out, but what kept you in the fight? So if you could think through, take as much time as you need, think through one story that put that under question or under pressure, and how did you get through it?
Leaving my first gym, the person that I partnered with, we just weren't a good fit. when we all retrospectively look back on it, and I'd spent about 2.5 years with this person, spent a lot of time, energy, my life savings to get this gym going and move forward in my career. This is my first CrossFit gym. And it came to a headway where we just weren't seeing eye to eye, and I was the one to leave the gym. And in that moment in time, what do I do? Right? There's this lack of Brian all of a sudden, because the only identity that I've ever had is being a health coach, whether it's through fitness, through nutrition, through lifestyle, through seeing people lose weight and creating confidence in their life to go do really awesome things. And that's been, say, my drug or the hook for doing this in the first place. So I leave the gym in a emotionally distraught place and financially challenged, and I'm starting from zero again after literally I was so into it that the first not only did my second son get born there in the beginning, we opened the gym a month and a half earlier than we were going to, about 2 months earlier. And my second son was born. We have two kids now, 15 months apart. And I am so sleep deprived, sleeping 4 hours a day, waking up at 4 to get to the gym by 5, to do the morning and the evening classes, and then to wrap up after that, to go to bed at midnight. That was my life. And I was literally falling asleep. My wife and I went on date night, and I was falling asleep walking through Toys R Us looking for diapers. And I was like holding on the cart for dear life because I couldn't keep my eyes open. And it was quite a date night from her perspective. I couldn't stay awake sitting across the table from her at Outback. So I poured my life, my energy into this thing to create, and we made amazing transformations. And again, that core purpose. But leaving that is just, am I selling direct TV at Sam's Club?
Mm,
What am I doing with myself? I don't know, because I went to look out, and there was that point. There was another point in about 2017, and even right now, one of the expressions of Coach Brian is, say, this podcast. This didn't
yeah.
exist. This didn't need to exist before this last year, because the landscape has been evolving professionally, and finding people to help is, it shouldn't be as hard as it is. But there's lots of trust that is getting challenged in our social media place.
Yeah.
There's lots of challenge of connection, right? People are not connecting with other humans. They're connecting with this screen, and there's not a lot of real conversations happening. And therefore, people aren't seeking it out, or they don't know where to look, or they're confused, or there's a million different videos on how to lose weight on YouTube right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
So even right now, going through this shift of, okay, how do I speak my truth? How do I show up as a leader? And how do I continue maintaining this identity and this person of someone who transforms other people's lives, a mini Tony Robbins in a sense. But how do I maintain this and not get stuck in this cycle of, oh, I can't pay my bills. I can't find people to
Mm,
talk to. I can't create an authentic connection with someone to get them to know, like, and trust me to sign up in my service to get help.
yeah. What is between those situations? You mentioned your purpose a second
Yeah.
ago in the unapologetic sentence. What kept you in it? What kept you doing this right now?
Uh, s- Shifting is more painful than trying to figure it out. Shifting the
Ooh,
long
interesting.
term, yeah, the long term regrets. I did why your New Year's resolutions fail episode, if I remember correctly, 54, because I just did it yesterday or 2 days ago. But the rocking chair analogy is what I used in it. And sitting when you're 80 and you're in a rocking chair, analyzing, looking past, I don't want regret. I don't
Mm,
want to feel that I could have done more. I could have helped more. I could have. I don't, I sold out on some level, but also for just, I have 4 kids. So the family of 6. We love to live life. We've traveled all 50 states. We've been to multiple countries, continents. We literally, our goal is to go to all 7 continents for all 6 of us, which would place us in a incredibly rare
oh
position
yeah. Oh my
of
God.
people ever in the whole world, of traveling and experiencing humans, and seeing that I can't let my wife down. I can't let my kids down, and I need to be able to find a way to do it. And I think that, say, rocking chair analogy of looking back when I'm older, that I feel self-fulfilled, that I did what I could. I tried my best. I put my best foot forward. I woke up and I had energy to give to someone else to help them better themselves.
Yeah, man, that's powerful, dude. And that's such a special thing that you're doing with your family, man. Like really, that's super, super cool.
It is pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's why right now I can't be in a barn because it's 0 outside. So I'm inside my family room and I just use the map. This is my wife's map. I'm hogging it from her. But yeah, we're looking to go. We're going to go to Peru in April. We'll go to Japan at some point. Australia is the land down under. That's been on my bucket list for since I was ever young. And the one place that I'm most excited in anticipation is Antarctica, because my third son Maxwell, we were in Moab walking back from the Utah license plate, and he said, "Hey, how about after we get done with the states, we do all 7 continents?" And I look back, what? It's never crossed my mind to do something like that, to go to Antarctica and just to explore the world. And it's brought a lot of wealth in terms of experiences
Yeah.
and connection and connection ability, because I can connect with so many people because of the travel experience. And I'm so appreciative of being able to see different cultures, to see different people. And honestly, everybody wants to live a joy filled life. They want to be happy. They want to be around people that they care. They want to have their basic needs met
Yeah.
and be able to enjoy. So
Yeah, dude, that's such a good answer, man. Right? So
thanks.
this overarching purpose of your life is obviously so deeply connected to the future and probably honestly the next question that we'll ask or the next topic here of like where you want to go. And that's what kept you in the flight. That's awesome, man. And that's a part of this too. So here's the last one, all right, to really unpack this purpose is where are you out of alignment? Where does, if you look at your life right now, where does your calendar behavior or relationships not line up with that purpose today?
Mm, this is a good one. This is the one that Brian didn't talk about, right? We all have our positives and our negatives. One issue I believe that I have is maintaining relationships,
Mm,
is going hard in the paint in a sense, going hard all the time. I have spent the last more than 1 month going all in on work, and then that neglects my
yep.
wife, that neglects my children, that neglects other relationships with my parents or other associations of people.
Yeah.
Because when I go to the soccer game to watch my son, I bring my computer and I do work. I don't connect with the other parents that are there,
Yeah.
not for any other reason of like, I have this open time, I need to do this. And you understand self-employment and
Oh yeah.
entrepreneurship and stuff. So you have to take those windows of time, and not, because it's more important for me to spend my time with my family, my free time with my family, not with an associated relationship because our kids are on a soccer team. I can be cordial and polite and all, but I'm not going to strike up a conversation with them that ultimately isn't going to serve a purpose in my eyes, and for any matter of fact. And maybe that's where I go wrong too. So I have this grandioso vision
Yeah.
of who I am and whatnot, but then I'm missing the some of the bigger picture possibly because I'm so focused on work. And that's where things are out of alignment for me. Is so tomorrow will be the 5th day my kids are off school, from it being so cold. And this is a rarity. Not even in my lifetime have I ever seen 5 snow days in a row.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
this is interesting, right? But I'm playing dad guilt, I'm playing husband guilt, I'm playing a lot of things in my head of where should I spend my time? Because it's very limited.
Yep.
Do I spend it with this or do I spend it with that? And today I did stop and I played raining unicorns with my daughter, and we're dancing around doing these unicorn games and stuff. But if we look at the whole picture of the day, from I woke up to 8 o'clock till I go to bed somewhere around midnight, typically, how much time am I actually spending with my family?
Yeah.
Not necessarily a lot. And but also there's this role of providership that you have to do, or we need to pay bills. Like there's a certain expense that my family cost me and cost my
Yes.
wife to provide. So that's where the friction lies for me, is how do I have this role and this leader identity and make and produce and create the results and the impact to then get the, say, the financial rewards of that, and do it in a way that's aligned. I think that this podcast is in a direct alignment because I really enjoy talking and speaking. I can do it endlessly. But say, for example, say posting on social media, that feels like a life suck. I'm not gonna lie. Every posts and content, as you know, takes 20 to 40 minutes of time to put something out there that fades away and goes nowhere. And
Yeah.
so, but you have to play the game
Playing the
of
game. Yeah.
this. And it's that's where I'm getting a lot of internal friction around showing up to my best self and doing my zone of genius versus am I doing all this busy work and I'm not leveraging myself in the full capacity of hiring a team of people or whatever. But then that just creates more responsibility to create more income to then provide for them as well, because they will be part of like my family that I will want to give to them. And now I have to 10x just to provide
Yeah.
everything. And now I'm still back in the same situation of making, you see, this is the friction that I live in.
Yeah. And, Brian, man, you're not alone. If I could say the number one thing when I take on a male client is when I ask them some of these questions, right? What do you all do? What are you doing it for? I primarily work with leaders, business owners, etc.
Right.
And when I ask them this question, they give me almost the same exact response.
Sure.
Not exactly the same, obviously.
No, but I'm swimming in the same bucket as
You're
they are,
swimming in the
right?
same button. And
Yeah.
again, this is all about men's health, and that's just one of the things that I notice with men. And this one of the things that I really enjoy about what I do too is getting on a call and being able to challenge you on that. When you say I'm just so busy, so busy, I'm like, okay, great, man.
Yeah.
What's your purpose again?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it's awesome,
Right.
dude. Appreciate you sharing that, man. That's
Thank
powerful.
you.
It's powerful
Thank
stuff.
you.
You mentioned it a couple of times. You actually mentioned that next word, vision, right?
Yeah.
So now we've defined your purpose. Now we've challenged your purpose, right? How are you showing up? What's challenged it in the past and what's challenging it right now? So
Yeah.
now we go into that's who we are. That's why we exist. Now, where are we going? What's that vision? Or what's that North Star? So if everything went right, Brian, Coach Brian Pirana, if everything went right in the next 3 years, what does your life look like?
I'm leading a movement. There's a
Ooh,
brand. There is impact behind that in men's health and guiding men to be better, better men, better for themselves, better for the people that they care about the most, better for their responsibilities in the professional world. And right now it's called the Call to Rise, a
mm,
100-day challenge that I have created back in July. I'm working on building that as a core mission for the next 10 to 15 years to be able to see the fruits of the effort pay off. Three guys that recently graduated all lost 30 pound, 38 pounds in 100 days. And for me, it was easy. For me, it was joyful. For me, I had so much energy from being able to participate in their life and offer different perspectives around how they look at their health, most importantly, how they manage their time, how they manage their stress, how they use food and nutrition, how they use movement and exercise to create the outcome and the impact that they need in their life for, again, first and foremost, themselves, but then the other people that are most important to them.
yeah, man, that's awesome. I love that, dude. I love that. So here's the challenging question. What scares you about that?
Responsibility, more
Ah,
time, more
yeah.
energy, more money, more people, more. I have to step up. I have to play bigger. I have to do different things than I'm currently doing. And that's where, again, a lot of friction is I'm playing head coach. I'm playing sales. I'm playing marketer. I'm playing all the pieces and
Mhm.
I'm not willing to let it go because I can do it best or I can do it whatever. And I've even thought this. So what if I'm actually a better manager than I am a in the trench type person?
Yeah.
And what
Yeah.
if I can teach? Because I know all the things that I know coaching and fulfillment, and I know sales, and I understand marketing. Not amazing. That's a big missing link for me, but I know and understand enough and attracting that. And then so how do I grow? And maybe that's the biggest thing is allowing myself the space, capacity, and abilities to grow into that bigger version of myself. So I said a mini Tony Robbins. Well, Tony Robbins went through all the life that I did, and We don't want to compare, but he's done a couple bigger things than I have at a bigger, different magnitude for different reasons. And I haven't
Yeah.
needed those reasons to do what I'm doing because we're living different lives and stuff. But to be able to have that impact and all of that, I guess that he would be a role model or a visionary to look towards and
Yeah.
shifting my persona towards something bigger than I am right now.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Bigger than yourself. Again, there's a theme here, right? Right.
Yeah.
This vision. Yeah. I love that you said what scares you too. That's important. It's like we don't need to lie to ourselves, right? And I think that's what guys do a lot of times is like how many times, and I think we talked about this a little bit last time, but how many times does a dude say, I'll figure it out. I got it.
Yeah. Yep.
And they never actually open up and be like, yeah, I'm not saying you need to have these deep existential, you know, ayahuasca moments, right? I'm not saying that.
Right, right,
But
right,
I'm
right.
saying, but you got to be honest with yourself of what scares you, and conversations like this, even just guy to guy. And I know that we're in front of a bunch of people, right? Like these are
Right.
important.
Yeah.
This is important
I don't
stuff.
have these conversations with people because I'm the leader. I'm always the leader.
Exactly.
I'm always the
Yeah.
one that is giving. And even unfortunately, in a coaching experience that I have, I thought I was getting into for one thing, and I'm actually getting. I'm not getting what I thought I was getting. I bought into the wrong program in a sense, and
Gotcha.
I was looking for connection. I was looking for leadership guidance because
Yeah.
I'm a rocket ship, but I'm still sat on the ground in a sense in
Yeah.
terms of where I need to grow and not having that leadership. So I appreciate this conversation of just man to man and having and being
Absolutely.
open.
Yeah, man. Absolutely. And I appreciate you having it. So last thing, another challenging one. All right.
All right.
Try and limit it.
Okay.
Now vision often is kind of like synonymous a lot of times, and people confuse it a little bit with goal, right? 3-year
Right.
goal, 3-year vision, right? Here's where we change it from that to very, very practical. I want you to name based on what you just said, but not only what scares you, right? Obviously thinking
Yeah.
through that, but what that 3-year vision was. What are 3 non-negotiable outcomes that have to happen in 3 years? When I mean non-negotiable, I mean these aren't dreams. This is your reality. What are the 3 things that have to happen for you?
I need to text my son right now. He's singing. It's just reality of 4 kids. Give me 1 second. So this is real life.
This is amazing. I love it.
This is what I'm sat in my. I usually sneak out to my barn and I'm quiet, but the 2 older boys came home from swimming and they're clanging and banging and the one's singing and here we are. So
Here you are. Here you are.
so the
It's okay.
things that
Like you just said, it's
yeah,
life, man.
this is real life. This is Brian's every day, and that's the challenge piece. Brian wants to do this, but there's real life things, and there's constant. If professionally it's distractions, it's disruptions. Personally, it's I need to be open to parenting and fathering my children and showing up responsibly and in that relationship as well. So
Absolutely.
that's a big challenge too. Like they want to do dishes right now. It's like it's inconvenient for my life, but this is my life. All right. Things that need to
Yep. Non-negotiable.
transpond into the future for me to live and to fulfill on purpose and all. Is that
Yep. So we're talking about vision, right?
yeah.
So specifically, right, what are 3 non-negotiables from your vision that have to happen? If that's the goal, right, what are 3 things that have to happen?
Things that I have written down and thought about to whatever degree, but one is to have 100 men through the program.
Okay.
That's the beginning. To have
Okay.
100 men graduate and be successful. Okay,
100
that's
men.
number one.
Okay.
Number two is increase my reach and impact. Something I feel like I certainly can still use improvement and skills and development, but I feel as if I'm a good speaker. I talk a lot. This is literally how I've made a living. I'm
I would
personable
agree.
and I talk a lot and I can connect with people. One thing on my list is doing a TED talk. and showing up and being able to do something like that, or at the very least getting on bigger stages in front of people that are in my ideal audience, the people that it can impact and serve and grow relationships, connections, and results with. So that would be the second one. And then the third one is, I guess, complete the mission for the family. Like, let's get to
Mm.
all 7 continents, because if I can do that, then means everything else worked out, because I will have the money to pay for 6 people to go to Antarctica on top of all the other things as well. So there has to be the connection of my profession to match pace with the demands of the goals that we have for our family, to create core memories for our kids and our family unit together. Because our kids, they my daughter's 10, she's slept in 49 states.
Yeah, that's nuts.
Idaho is the one that got away from us. So I'd say those are the 3 things that I can envision myself moving toward, and would feel fulfilled when accomplished.
Yeah, and I think this is important. It's a word I love to use, is that non-negotiable word, right? Because these are the things that, especially when, if like when I'm working with a client and we're talking about non-negotiables, right? It's, think about it like this: if your life was a profession, what would you get fired for if you didn't do it by the end of the day? Right? Like, same
Yeah.
thing. And we don't need to go into that, but like that's what we mean by this, when people, for
Yeah,
people
that's a
listening,
good
like,
question.
right? It's like, that's what non-negotiable is. It's, so when you said, and just to give you some on the spot, like when you said TED Talk or large, at least larger stage, to me, no, that doesn't work. What is it? What is that non-negotiable? What would you fire yourself for if you didn't do it? And
Mm,
that's what we want to distill the vision down to. See what I'm
right.
saying?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Let's move on, just because I want to look at time, and we're definitely only going
Yeah. Yeah.
to be able to get through the blueprint right now. But this is awesome, man. I appreciate you taking so much time and energy doing this. This is
That's
going to be great.
perfect.
Yeah. So the next one that I believe in, for me, it's one of the things that's mostly missed. And I would imagine that you see this with your clients too, and when you're setting them up for their health journey, right?
Right. You see
Is,
patterns. You always see
yeah,
patterns. Yep.
exactly. What environment and ecosystem does Brian thrive in? So your surroundings either support or sabotage your mission. Let's dive into that. Hit me real quick, 90 seconds max. What supports your
Okay.
mission today? You went through purpose and vision. Awesome. What supports that mission today?
Creating connections with the people that serve my audience, serve the people that I can help the most. I think that is probably the biggest one. So even just having this conversation and our connection from the get go, from even me
Yeah.
starting the podcast to you reaching out to me responding and going back, and here we are a second time. I think those very extrovert, very high energy, very connection driven, personable situations I need to put myself in to be able to really thrive, because Brian thrives in that environment.
Yeah. So that connection piece, I love that. Love that, man. What reverse side, what sabotages it, distracts, drains, toxic patterns do you notice that could sabotage that mission for you? What sabotages that environment, that ecosystem for you? Phone. Yes. Hold them all up, dude. Bang.
This thing, it's
100%.
incredibly disruptive
Incredibly.
by a
Yep.
thousand. It's I'm on my kids now. Yeah, they get a coach for a father. Lucky them. But guys, let's stop living life 10 seconds at a time. You're going to wake up 10 years from now
Man,
and
it's powerful.
realize that your dad was right, and that you've wasted a lot of time on attention, on people trying to grab their attention from you. And I think that's the attention economy is what we're in, especially if, say, from the entrepreneurship, I'm doing it to the people that I'm after, right? Well, what's my
Yep.
hook? Well, how do I build the thing? How do all these things? Very methodical, very science driven. Just like, say, the food industry is hooking people to get them fat and overweight, so that they keep buying the food product that got them there in the first place, but they shouldn't do it. It's a loop, it's a habit, it's behavior. So the phone is definitely going to be the biggest distraction that I have. I believe I have a better system on which I manage some of my go-to things. There's sticky notes on my MacBook here. So I've just bought a new MacBook. So it's top of the line at the moment, an M5, October 25. It's got 32 gigs, so it operates at high capacity because I wouldn't be able to do this on my MacBook 2019 MacBook Air because it would fail and it would have
Yeah.
quit and dropped the live stream. So I can move at a higher capacity. And here it is. Here it is. I say this a lot to myself, and I say it to some people too. Brian can't keep up with Brian. Brian as a person cannot keep up with Brian as the identity. There's the friction. There it is. It's all there. I can't keep up with myself because I have like 1,000 things going on and I'm doing too many things at once. Like I'm literally producing and editing and processing 3 different podcasts right now so that this one can come out by Monday. And then I have to start recording again. But then there's this underlying drive of, okay, if I do more content and do the Hormozi, which we all saw that Hormozi is unfulfilled, right? With his Tony Robbins conversation, that's it. That's the grind. Brian can keep up with Brian and know what to do with it and how to manage Brian.
Man. Yeah, man. And that goes into this, like this theory. And this is actually what we won't be able to get to it today, but that's exactly what the brief to battle plan is a way to be able to structure decision-making so you can get clear, right? Because whenever, and especially because you're a business owner, you're growing, you have this deep purpose, this deep vision. It's large, it's grandiose, it's amazing, but that comes with a cost, right? And that cost is what you just said. Can Brian keep up with Brian? Right? That's what's sabotaging your environment right now. Not only the cell phone, but this maybe lack of internal decision-making or structure of like, hey, what's most important right now that's in alignment with that? And maybe another time we can get to that, but let's keep ripping, man. That's really powerful stuff right there.
Yeah.
Dude. So what people, or next question on ecosystem is specifically name a person, people, or relationship that you need closer to get to your mission. You need more.
My wife.
Love that answer, dude. That's would be my answer too.
First one, 1,000%. I need her to be there for me. And when she's not, or there's a distance, I feel it because then Brian isn't living his purpose. He's not matching his identity. He's not showing up for her because he's too much into business or vice versa or whatnot. Or then he can't provide for her to be able to experience the world. She's the world traveler. She's the one who wants to do these things, and Brian wants to provide. I've known this woman since I was 11. I've been with her for 3 decades. Okay. I love her dearly. And I enjoy her humor and her sarcasm and her proxy. And I miss it if I get too far away from it. Like I literally am craving and I can't. And then that's a conundrum. So in and of itself. So yeah, Amber is definitely the first person and the only person. Really.
Yeah. Thank you for using her name, by the way, too. Even that statement, right? That is powerful too. I mean, I had a similar, I love my wife, and she challenged me this morning. I've got a business conversation with friends that are also, potential like referral sources and stuff. And we've been, friends. One of them I've known since I was 4, and I told her, I was like, yeah, I'm going to lunch with them tomorrow. And she challenged me. She goes, okay, great. Is one of their business partners, is he going to be there? Because if not, you guys are just going to grab a pizza and grab a couple beers. She's right. And it's like, I need more of that. And I thanked her. I was like, Lauren, thank you. You're right. I'll make sure that, I'm not going to use their names, but I'll make sure that he's there. Because she's right. If you didn't show up, if this other individual didn't show up, we would talk. We've had 15 year, we've got 20-year history. We would talk, joke, whatever, and then we'd leave and nothing
gets done. Yep. She knows me, and I'm the worker. She's the thinker. I'm the extrovert. She's the introvert. She's the one who has set me up for success time and again. And then if I can't continue being successful, then I feel horrible not being able to maintain and provide for her and her goals and her dreams and aspirations and all that. In her business, she's her own employee. And if I do well, then she doesn't have to worry about how well she does or doesn't do. She can just have fun doing it and express herself in a true way, which then gives her more confidence, more energy. And then I'm attracted to her even more.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that, man. I love that. So real quick, What people relationships do you need stronger boundaries with?
How about Brian? We have a stronger boundary around him. He's if my boss could give me a review. You're slow, you're indecisive, you take too long to do tasks, you jump from one task to another. That would be when we're off work, we're off work. When we're on
Yeah,
work, we're on work. But as you know, the life of entrepreneurship is different. It's not a nine to
challenging.
five.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Yeah,
would say that's the first boundary that I would need. I have other boundaries around other people that have just create a more negative engagement around me. But I'm going to say Brian
that's fine.
is
Yeah, I love it. So last question on the ecosystem. What system, tools, whatever, do you need to upgrade in the next 90 days? A part of your ecosystem to push you forward.
my leverage. 2026 is the year of leverage. I've got to find
Okay.
a way to leverage myself. I have an ads ecosystem that I'm creating and building
Cool.
out, and I hope that that will leverage my stay on social presence. And I'm getting more organized. There's purpose to and reason to why I'm posting, rather than just going finding someone's viral content and mocking it in a sense, because that's what you're told to do in the social media space. Go find a viral outlier and just do it again, make it your own. And a lot
Yeah.
of people don't. So that's giving me a lot more structure around the ads and understanding how to run ads so then I can attract my ideal client. Because if I can get them knocking on my door, that solves a big major problem, because I figured that out for 10 years and then it's not working so well. And that's a big thorn in my side.
Yeah,
Then
absolutely.
then do I bring someone on? I have a light lean team. And who is that person? Do I get someone from do I bring on a college intern that's in marketing and social media content and help them purpose all this content that I have? I've got days and weeks worth of content. Even
Yeah.
the podcast is over 2,000 minutes of me talking. And
Mhm.
there's Riverside clips it up into nice little chunks. But to be honest, I've done 50, I've released 56 episodes, and my I only launched a clip from that episode like this week. I've been doing it since
Mm.
September. And I could have been chopping it up and spreading it around. And these are the pieces that people need to hear and understand who Brian is, not this manufactured whatever, this on the spot of like, oh, I'm gonna do content creation right now. But I'm not leveraging my in conversation and those nuances and all that is inside just sitting in Riverside.
Yeah. Well, straight up, I'm a huge proponent of technical school. I've had incredible, just throwing it out there, man. I've actually had
Yeah.
incredible luck with
Yeah.
technical school interns. So
Yeah.
like one of ours around here, I live in Rochester, New York. RIT is actually a very good technical school. Their
Yeah.
interns have found have been remarkable.
Yeah.
Um,
That's awesome.
yeah,
That's what I think.
and
Hey, I'm a fully operational social media empire just ready to roll if you want to go.
yeah,
And we can do scripts. And I am no problem talking, being on film, being on camera, doing this, that, the other, whatever. I've got so much content. I have so much things. We can roll if you want to join me and do something.
yeah, awesome, dude, awesome. So last one,
Okay.
motivation, right?
Motivation.
So internal battery, you know all about this, right? It's probably one of the things I would imagine you talk very quickly about with your clients, like what
Yep.
motivates you, right? Why do you want to
Yep.
do this stuff? So for the coach now, what actually energizes you? Not what should, because most people think that, right?
Right.
What actually energizes you? So number one thing that stands out, what actually energizes you?
Yeah, having real conversations and with humans and having them work through just helping them take the next best step in the conversation and seeing them unfold the knot that they got themselves in. That is where, oh, it's so awesome. The last conversation I had was with a consult, and the gentleman name is Chris. Doesn't matter what his name was, but and his wife was there on the phone too. I said, Chris, your wife is giving you a blueprint, and she's literally telling us out loud what we need to do to create more fulfillment in your relationship with her while you take better care of yourself by just making better food choices and walking with her after work. Like literally, if you could go walk with her for 10 minutes after work this week, you are going to get more connection than you've had probably in a month from her. If you go away on a, they don't have kids at their age, and she said, man, it would be so nice if we could just go away from like a 2-day weekend to an Airbnb on a cabin, go out and hike in woods and just stare out in the lake and probably do some other things. and but he can't do it. He's not in shape. He's not healthy. He can barely breathe.
Yeah.
15 minutes, he's exhausted. He literally said he doesn't go places with her because of his physical. Like she'll go see family and 2-3 hours away and he won't go. You're missing so much connection with her. And so having conversations where people untie that rope and start living life in excitement, in presence, in anticipation. Holy Lord, that's the juice. That's what we got to squeeze here.
Yeah, man. That's awesome. Yeah. So again, what's great about what we've gone through already is there's so many correlations, and this is kind of the point, right? There's so many correlations to like what motivates you to your why, right? Of helping others, right? It's in that authentic conversations that's kind of how I summarize what you just said. Like having those real authentic conversations with people really motivates you and jazzes you up. I'm similar. And it's probably why we're in similar and different professions, right? Coaches just in different spheres, but
we do the same thing, subtly different.
Subtly different. Yeah. So you probably know where this next question is. What drains you? What reliably drains you? What keeps you and looks productive, but is not?
The marketing piece.
Yeah.
Wholeheartedly. It's the marketing. It's spending so much time and energy on that. And it's not that I can't do it. It's not that I don't enjoy it, but that's not the job. That's not the mission. That's extra. And it's costing exponential amounts of time, energy, effort, money. The thousands of dollars of meta ads I've spent last year to solve a problem is painful. And then it makes me work longer and harder because I can't get it to align. And I used to talk to people, and now I'm just a content creator is how I feel sometimes too. I used to coach people all day, every day. It'd be hard for you I'd have 8 to 12 conversations every single day with real people talking about their real problems and helping them solve the situation. And because of the AI and the GLP-1s and our economic turmoil with our government and all, there's a lot of challenge in people's everyday lives now. And looking for a health coach in a sense isn't the top priority. They want to make sure they can go buy eggs because eggs were supposed to go down, but I think they're double than they were or whatever. That's neither here nor there, but there's a lot of challenge in there. So I have to then play marketer, content creator, and that's, there it is.
Yeah. I 100% that is me too. I've built, I built a financial practice before I ever did this, and I've done everything, including right now, off of really referral only. And I dove into this marketing sphere, the social media sphere. And if I could say one thing that drains me that feels productive, it's that. I personally have chosen to just be like, I'm gonna take a back seat to that. I do have an intern, right, that's posting a lot of stuff for me and continuing that grind. But it's a choice that I've actually made too, to be like, you know what? Right before this call, Brian, I was actually meeting with what I call a center of influence on same exact thing. Like I miss those types of conversations. Honestly, it was the most productive conversation on marketing or prospecting, as I call it, I've had all week. And there's something there, right? It's like kind of like fight the system, but we can talk about some other time.
You gotta figure out a way to make it work for you.
Right. Last thing, right? What rituals or routines keep your battery charged when the pressure hits?
I need to make sure I spend time with my family, and I need to connect with Amber.
Okay.
That is it. Because if I can't connect with her, it doesn't matter how well I am off in other areas. That's the thing that I
Yeah.
need. And this is a good kind of wrapping this thing up is the good realization is I need to make sure I carve out time to connect with her. With it being so cold, we walk and talk with our dog, and it's 0 outside. She didn't like the cold, so that's a challenge, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And
You and I are actually really similar in that way too. Like we do a bunch of walks.
yep,
And we're in upstate right off of Lake Ontario.
yeah. So it's cold. It's
It's
cold.
brutal, right? Yeah, it's
Yeah,
brutal. Um, and so we've even talked about that too. And one of the things that we really like to do too is we got these like card games that we've gotten on
yeah,
Amazon that
yep,
just like deepen our relationship. And it's actually been we thought it was kind of gimmicky at first, but like, yeah, let's try it out. And it's actually been pretty cool to keep conversations going and
yeah.
conversations we haven't asked each other in years. Um, but yeah, so
Right,
that's so we definitely don't have time for the rest. Obviously, we're 50 minutes
right.
in here, and I
Wrapping
know
up
that we both need to get back to
life
what we're doing
and
this all
family.
for,
Yeah.
right? Right, as you so amply said, and like, hey, this is a good way to put a pin in it. But um, so what do you think if there's one takeaway that you learned today that you verbalized out loud in front of your audience and with me? What do you think is the one thing that you took away from today's conversation?
I need to connect with my wife more,
I love that, dude. That's
with
powerful.
Amber. That's the one thing. Because
Yeah,
then my internal battery is forever charged. I will run myself ragged for
yeah,
her, and I need to have that connection that there's purpose behind me getting up early, staying up late,
yeah,
doing this podcast, whatever,
yeah.
talking to people.
Yeah, dude. Thank you.
Yeah, this is great.
That's like, look, and anybody out there, it's like seriously, like think about that. I mean, like that is something that I've personally come to the conclusion of as well. Very recently, it was like a really gut check for me. Is the same exact thing. Like generally speaking, on a Thursday night, it's kind of like my late night. And
Right.
I've come to this conclusion too. It's like, all right, cool, man, but you've been here since 6 already, right? Like, go home.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
Go home, right?
Yep.
Dude, thank you so much, man. This was
Yeah.
really cool to do live like this. I appreciate the authenticity that you came with this conversation. For everybody, just to reiterate, I didn't send Brian any of this, and that's the
Nope.
purpose. This cannot be done. I only do this in front of workshops. I only do this live because
Yeah.
you think too much. You need authenticity. You need gut reaction when you go through what your actual blueprint is. And what people normally do, for everybody out there that's listening, is
Yep.
what you do is you overthink. And then what you do is you manufacture answers because you think about it too much. It
Yep.
has to be done like this, in my opinion. Thank
Agreed.
you, Brian.
And talking to people, it's exactly what I do. Say, hey,
Yeah.
this we're talking about you right now. This is what do you want in your life?
Yeah.
So I really appreciate your time, your energy, this conversation, and be able to deep dive into Brian. I hope that the people listening in get a little bit more of who Brian is, why he does what he does, how he shows up, and also with Coach John. I hope that you check him out. I'll have his info in the show notes. So if you want to talk with him and go through a discovery process of your own, you'll be able to do that with him.
Absolutely.
Okay?
Yep.
Hit him up. He was very easy to talk to. He sent me an email. I replied back, and here we are, second time in.
Yeah.
So thank you so much. I appreciate
Thank
you.
you.
I appreciate everyone else listening in. And that is a wrap for our conversation today. Off we
Appreciate you.
go.
Later.
Thank you.